Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Anime here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a movie from 2001. That movie is Millennium Actress. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you right now that this movie is from one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. This thing was made by the late great Japanese filmmaker Satoshi Kon, and during his lifetime, he directed 4 films. I've seen 3 of them. I saw 2 of them for this series. All 3 of those films have been absolute brilliant, fantastic master pieces, and all 3 of those movies rank up amongst my all-time favorite films. And now tonight I get to see if all 4 of his films are going to rank up amongst my all-time favorites. I know nothing about this film, guys, outside of the fact that it was directed by Satoshi Kon. I know nothing about the plot. I have not seen a trailer. I have not read the back. I guys just knew. I knew when I found this thing on sale for fucking $3, I needed to buy it. And tonight, I get to finally see it. And I'm hoping beyond all hope that this thing is another brilliant film from one of my favorite filmmakers. But the only way I'm going to find out if it is another masterpiece is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Millennium Actress. I am really sorry, guys, if I haven't been saying anything. I've just been really sucked into this story. It is incredibly fascinating, and I'm really loving it so far, guys. This, honestly, guys, is the kind of stuff that I love to see from Satoshi Kon. The man knew how to write fantastic stories. I am loving this thing, guys, so far. You know, guys, I was really expecting a lot of things from this movie. I was not in any way expecting the humor. And the humor in this thing is really sound, and I'm really digging it. God, guys, this movie is awesome. I swear, guys, the writing in this thing is fantastic. With every passing second, I'm absolutely adoring this story. And this, guys, is the kind of story that will suck you right in. And there's almost no way of getting out of it, man. This thing is fantastic. I would just like to say, guys, right now, I am terribly sorry for the lack of actually saying anything. It's just, I am that sucked into this story right now. So, you know, I totally understand you guys normally want to hear me actually, like, talk about the movie and everything, but it's kind of hard when you're this committed and this focused on a movie. You know what I mean? Well, guys, that was Millennium Actress. Let's shut that off. Wow. Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I kind of had to break my own rules here a little bit. That ending was incredibly sad. It was both sad and touching, and I had to pause the movie with about a minute left, and I just sort of had to go off and just have a long fucking cry. Took me about 5 minutes, and then I was finally able to compose myself enough to come back here and do this. That ending is going to make you cry. It is a touching ending. So why don't we talk about the writing? I went into this one having no idea what the hell I was going to be watching, and the plot is basically that it is a documentarian and his cameraman talking to this aging, actress who made dozens of films back years and years ago, like decades ago, and she had gone into hiding for 30 years. They find her, and she begins to give them her life story, which just sort of starts when she gets the offer to act, and as she is mulling over all of it, somebody runs into her, and it's somebody who is running from the police, because he apparently was some kind of a friggin' like anti-fucking military rebel or something like that, and he was also a painter. And they spent one evening talking while she kept him hidden in their like storeroom, and she immediately fell in love with him. And it basically shows how she spent her entire life chasing after this guy, and the only thing that she had to go by was a key that he wore around his neck, and she carries that with her. And every so often the story veers off from her life story and dives into the films that she worked on. And the stories in those films draw almost direct parallels to her own life. And so so you get this lengthy story, which is basically talking about a woman trying to find her lost, love, and being stopped at every single turn. And the story flows seamlessly from her real life to each film that she worked on. The only things that change are the costumes and the time period that each of these are set in. And they will sometimes pull, back and tell you that yes, this is a film. And you will sometimes have a little bit of a difficult time trying to figure out what is, film and what isn't film. And they also do this whole thing where whereas the story is being told, the filmmaker and his cameraman are there watching. And when they happen to jump into her films, the filmmaker will then basically take on a role that is in the film, because he has been a fan of hers for decades and he knows all of her movies forwards and backwards. And this kind of sort of leads into a little bit of the humor, especially since the cameraman is stunned that he knows all this dialogue. And naturally, seeing as how the film is, and seeing as how each little segment is going at the pace of that film, when he happens to try to proclaim his love for this actress, she honestly has already moved on to the next scene, and it's all basically just like humorous timing, and it works really, really well. And this whole story, guys, is masterfully told. And as I stated earlier, the ending is this massive just blow that is going to make you cry both literally out of sadness and also a little bit out of joy. This, guys, is a perfect love, story. Well, maybe not a perfect love story. It is a perfect story about the quest for, love. And it works fantastically because of that. The writing here, guys, is awesome, and I could definitely recommend this thing, if for no other reason than for the story. Now, I do have to warn, because I know that there are some people out there who cannot stand titled films. This thing is only in Japanese. However, I will say that it has some of the best English subtitles I have ever found. Because, guys, I have watched a lot of foreign films, and I have seen subtitles range from really good to just almost unfucking readably terrible in terms of spelling errors, typos, and all that other kind of happy crap. At least here, everything, at least in terms of like the flow of the dialogue in the subtitles, is perfect. And as much as this film would probably benefit from English dub, because I know that more people would watch it then, it still is masterful here, especially since, as long, honestly, as you know how to read subtitles and you're able to keep up with them, then you are going to get you are going to lose yourself in this story. And you are going to feel a very strong emotional bond to every character here, which is also why when the ending hits, you are going to have a nice long cry. It is a very touching ending, and I Honestly, and honest to God, guys, I am not trying to spoil the ending. I'm just going to tell you. Very few films have made me just break down and cry. I can probably count them on one hand. This thing is honestly, now amongst those films. I really loved the ending. I'm just going to say that right now. So, guys, writing here is absolutely brilliant. What about the acting? The acting here is some top-notch acting. Every single cast member is turning in a fantastic showing. And when they have to be serious, it works perfectly. And when they have to be funny, my God, guys, the humor just takes off, and it works so well. The acting here, similar to the acting in every film directed by Satoshi Kon, is brilliant. It was fantastic. Animation. If you guys have seen any of Satoshi Kon's previous films, those are Perfect Blue, Paprika, and Tokyo Godfathers, then you guys basically know the animation and the art style on this film. It is the very same kind of animation and also the very same kind of character fucking design. It works really well. It's great. Animation here is fluid. It is just fantastic, and it is one of the highlights of this movie, on top of the awesome writing and the fantastic acting. Coloring here is also done really well, and the sound mix here is done awesomely. Guys, I cannot think of a single negative in this film. So yes, guys, I can absolutely recommend. In fact, Guys, I strongly recommend you go out and you try to find this thing. Find it anywhere. I do not care if you have to BitTorrent it. I don't care if it's on Netflix. I don't care if somebody's uploaded it on to fucking YouTube. You owe it to yourself to watch this movie. This is one of the best things I have seen in probably about the last year and a half or so. This thing is fantastic, guys. I loved every frame of this movie, and it is going to have a very happy place in my fucking DVD collection. I am so happy I have this, and guys, I'm even happier now because this, guys, is the first time I've ever found a filmmaker whose entire directorial whose entire directorial output was awesome. I've loved all 4 films this man made before he died. The only thing, guys, which makes this even more tragic is that there's one more film coming out which he was working on before he died, and then after that there's no more, guys, and then that is it. And it really sucks because, god damn it, I've loved all 4 of his films. Every single film Satoshi Kon made, I have absolutely adored. And the fact that we are not going to get any more films from him beyond the one that's still being made is nothing short of tragic. He was quite possibly one of the best directors in all of Japanese animation. He will be strongly missed. But I'm very happy to have this thing in my collection. I loved this movie. Now, since I watched this and I loved this, I kind of feel, guys, that I need to go and marathon the rest of his films. Luckily, I have 2 of them here, and if I'm not mistaken, Tokyo Godfathers is still on Netflix. So I'm going to go watch all 3 of those, and then probably when I'm done with those, I may come back and watch this thing again. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.